Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by the Cochran Firm and the Boston Scientific. Streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Bomb Squad in the building. What's goody, what's goody? Feels good a day after the birthday celebrations, man. Coming up today, we discuss a major move in the NFC East. Is it a major move? It's a move, nonetheless. We'll touch on that. Dallas is dealing with some nicks and bruises across their team. We'll see how it affects, or if it will affect, this upcoming game. And we'll briefly touch on the Bears' defense and how they match up with the Cowboys' offense. They don't got their top pass rusher now, so hey, maybe the Cowboys call a little tiny break here coming up this week. But we'll dive into all that. Should be a fairly easy show, sweet and simple. But as usual, if you want to call in and make it not simple, not easy, and long, you can. 351-999-3787 is the call-in line, the Pulse of the Nation call-in line, powered by the Cochran Firm. What's good, y'all?
Bomb Squad!
Over or under how many comments was it going to be till it was he only has one sack? I was really waiting to see that one there. But yeah, we'll talk about that. That's pretty much all I kept seeing on the Twitter sphere yesterday. And I have my opinions on the situation, on the fan base and how they react to certain things like that. This is why you gotta love fans, man. You just gotta love fans, yeah. But we'll talk about all that, and then we'll dive into the injury front, because that could play a factor this week. Although I think we'll be fine if certain players, Ezekiel Elliott, doesn't play. But we got to figure out who's the next man up, those dominoes and things like that. So let's go ahead and do it, y'all, and get into this thing.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Oh, they do it! Hey, oh, they do it!
Hey, yo. Got to start it off with the trade that went down yesterday. Those Philadelphia Eagles, on their bye week, by the way, reached out to the Bears as the Bears are prepping to play the Cowboys. And they trade a 4th-round pick for one Robert Quinn. Now, there's two sides of this thing. There's the Cowboy fan side to the thing. If all screw the Eagles. Robert Quinn sucks. He's washed. That's Cowboy fans should do. But then there's the football side to these things. Football fan side. I hate the Eagles with a passion. I do. But I'm not going to sit here in front like a lot of people are. I can't hate on how they move. I can't. How can you hate this move if you're an Eagle fan? You pretty much gave up nothing for a guy who doesn't have to come in and be the guy to pass rush anymore. They gave up a 4th-round pick, man. And for somehow, some way, Howie Roseman got the Bears to pick up all of his damn contract, the rest of it. So they're going to get Robert Quinn for about $700,000. He has no more guaranteed money on his contract. They can cut him next year, be free of it, no dead money, because they're trying to make a move to go all the way, right? And people are going to say, well, Sky, he has one sack. Y'all so damn phony. Y'all so damn. Let me tell y'all how phony y'all are. We signed Dante Fowler. Very similar to this. This is a very similar situation. Veteran guy. Everybody's like, oh, he's done. Although he just had 18 and a half sacks last year. But veteran guy, oh, he's done. It just does nothing. And now we love Dante Fowler because we were saying he doesn't have to be the guy here in Dallas. He's got other guys around him where he can just go in for 20 snaps a game and give you his all. This is a good move for Philly. I hate it, but stop kidding yourself here. This is a good move. Robert Quinn goes to a stacked defense where he has to just be a part of a rotation. And that's what it is. You can lie to yourself if it makes you feel better. That's fine. But I refuse to do that because I can't fake the funk. Y'all know it. I can't do it. Good trade for them. Yeah, whatever. We'll see what happens, but that's the Cowboy fan in me. Yeah, whatever. But it is a good trade. Well, Scott, why he only got one sack? I don't know why he only has one sack, but I can tell you this. There's no more Khalil Mack on that Chicago Bears front, and we're going to talk about the Chicago Bears front here later. Aside from Robert Quinn, that front stinks. It stinks. So why wouldn't you double him? Oh, they are doubling him. I believe he's doubled at the third highest rate in the NFL. Now he goes to a defensive front where he's likely not going to be doubled. I 100% guarantee you he's going to have better production. Also, let me tell you how y'all phony. If we'd have got Robert Quinn for a bag of peanuts and only had to pay him $700,000, y'all be in here like, yes. And we'll leave it at that. I just had to get that out there. I saw too much phoniness going on out here in the Twitter's verse. Apparently in the chat too. Let's get to the Cowboy stuff. I don't like this injury report. I don't. Malik Hooker didn't practice yesterday. We'll see what happens. Keep an eye on that. But there's a hamstring injury going on with Malik. Hamstring injuries, man. We'll see what's up, though. If there was a game where maybe you can, hey, let's see what you got here, Israel McQuamo. Maybe this is the game because this is not a passing team. And then you got the bye week coming up. Terrence Steele, limited, neck. I don't like that, cuzzo. What's going on with your neck? Neck? I don't like to hear neck. I don't like to hear hamstring. And I damn sure don't like to hear foot on a wide receiver. Malik Hooker, hamstring. Terrence Steele, limited with the neck. And Noah Brown did not practice with the foot. Are we sure we're not really trying to be out here looking at receiver? Because I think we are. I don't even think it's a secret anymore that Dallas is interested in a receiver and maybe not just a run-of-the-mill wide receiver. Huh? Maybe somebody that's a little bit more than a run-of-the-mill type of guy. That's not going to, surprisingly, it hasn't come out publicly, but they're definitely interested. So let's keep our eyes on that. There's still some days left to the end of the trade deadline. So we'll see what's going on. But the biggest name coming out of that trade or coming out of the injury report is Ezekiel Elliott. I thought he'd be fine because he finished the game. But again, it's always about how do you feel the next day? What happens with the injury the next day? And apparently there's some swelling or whatnot. Zeke spoke to reporters. The teams, or McCarthy spoke to reporters. And this was a quote from on Twitter. Elliott isn't ready to rule himself out of Chicago game because of what a source called a hyperextended right knee that has caused swelling and bruising. And he said, we still got a lot of time before Sunday, but right now all I can do is focus on getting this knee as healthy as I can. Now, I know there were reports out there from Chill that torn this, torn that. I don't know where that came from, to be completely honest with you. I have no idea. I didn't hear anybody else besides him say anything about a torn this or torn that. So I'm not going to really dive into it. Well, we can dig around more, but nobody brought up torn anything. However, I don't blame you if you're a bit skeptical after what happened last year. Right? We were told one thing about Ezekiel Elliott's knee, and then it was a whole nother thing. Bye week is coming up. I'm starting to lean to I didn't know it was to this extent until later yesterday. I'm leaning towards sitting him down for this week with the bye week coming up. And the reason why, I think he got good enough backs behind him, and you're about to play one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL. And we'll talk about all of that here in a quick second. So that's this morning's roundup. Yeah, via Twitter. Chill said that. I don't know why he said that, but he's down there. I'm not. I don't know if he's talking to people. But I have my I'm skeptical. Let me just be real, because I didn't know he played on a torn PCL last year until the end of the season, but we could clearly see something was wrong. So sit him down, let him get healthy, and let's see what's up. Got a couple callers in here. Let's get to those real quick before we dive into the first word. Got McCarthy talking about the running back situation, and then we're going to talk about the running back situation. But I want to hear from y'all real quick, because I got a feeling I know why they're calling in. Pulse of the Nation hotline presented by the Cochran Firm. My guys Larry and Brian Pope down at the Cochran Firm have been serving and protecting and fighting for the DFW area community since 2005. They handle the most challenging civil cases, and they do it on a contingent fee basis, meaning if there is no financial recovery, they charge no fee. It's that simple. But if you're confused, hit them up. 1-800-THE-FIRM or schedule your free consultation today at CochranTexas.com. 321. What you got for us, man?
Hey, what's up, Scott? Hey, first time caller, long time listener.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Yeah, my name is Jeremy, by the way. Shout out to Starboy 50. That's my twin. He's a big Cowboys fan as well. But what I wanted to get to was, do you feel like Jerry's kind of afraid to let go of picks in order to get better for the team? Like, whether we need a burner downfield, even if it means giving up like a late round pick. 'Cause I noticed he's willing to give up for defense players, even with Amari Cooper. But you know, Jerry's not too fond of letting go of those picks in order to get over that hump when we have a chance to.
You sure you don't want to jog your memory real quick here?
Yeah, you can jog your memory a little bit, because I mean, he hasn't made that. I mean, Amari was the last big splash that I saw him made, like actually help us get better offensively.
I was seeing if you was going to remember, but is Jerry scared to get rid of picks for an offensive player? Absolutely not. We had to tell Jerry to chill, because he gave up multiple first round picks for wide receivers prior to Amari Cooper, plus second round picks, plus contracts, plus it was getting out of hand. What he was doing with Roy Williams and forget the other one, Joey Galloway. I don't know if you remember those trades. So is Jerry scared to give it? And then the first round pick for Amari Cooper. Nah, I don't think it's Jerry Jones, good brother. Steven is a different story. Steven flat out told you, I don't like to do it. I don't want to do it. I'd much rather just continue to keep my picks and draft well and develop and hope that eventually leads us to the promised land. So no, I don't think Jerry is scared. I think Jerry is not as I don't want to say as involved, but I think there's others, Steven, who kind of have that more, hey pops, this is what we should do, not what you're thinking because XYZ, and he can be talked into it, to be honest. So no, I don't think it's Jerry.
Okay, so it's probably just Steven trying to do it the old-fashioned Kraft Belichick way, probably. Then
shit, even they made some moves, but let's wait till next week, because they did. You said late. Now you said you're worried that they won't trade picks for offense, right? Not defense, because they did just trade one for defense.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel confident our defense is going to get better along the way, but I also do kind of like I know I watch the games and I watch Vander Esch. Sometimes he's missing that gap, his gap assignment too. At times I notice that he does miss it. He gets kind of washed out. But I'm hoping that, even if, we possibly decide to go with the rookie, either we decide to go via a trade, we get better at the linebacker position, or it could just be the coaching. I don't know.
If I had to guess, just kind of just getting the temperature of this trade deadline, it doesn't feel like they're really interested in the linebacker. That could be wrong. That they could pop up tomorrow, today, and hey, we traded for XYZ. This sounds a lot like wide receiver, and believe it or not, edge rusher. But I have a hard time believing that would be a thing. But this is what some things I'm being told. But wide receiver feels more like they're more serious about pushing towards as opposed to linebacker. I think they're like Damone Clark's coming back. We rather see what's up with that, and we're still the top 2 scoring defense with LVE and Anthony Barr.
Right. But that's all I had today. Thanks for taking my call.
I appreciate the
and
call.
I'll continue to listen to you every single day at work. This show gets me through my drive while I'm at work every day. So thank you for what you're doing, man.
Nah, thank you. Somebody called in the other day and said, this is my Cowboys breakfast. I'm like, yeah, that's a really good. I might have to start using that in the show. Cowboys breakfast. Yeah. Y'all feel what kind of vibes, what kind of energy are y'all getting, Cowboys Nation, from this trade deadline? I mean, we're hardly ever super active in the sense of multiple moves. So I'd say be cautious of another move coming, but they made a move early enough where there's still time to do another one. What type of vibes y'all getting? Y'all getting linebacker vibes? Are y'all getting wide receiver vibes? I was mentioned about defensive end. That one seems like a shocker to me because I feel like, why would you want to bring somebody in here to kind of progress stop Sam Williams? You still got Dante Fowler. Basham is coming back. Maybe you move on from a Basham as opposed to bringing somebody in. What type of vibes y'all getting? I'm getting wide receiver vibes, Cowboys Nation. Yeah. O-line. I didn't think about that. Toxic said, we like our guys vibes. I don't know how it's not wide receiver. You know what I mean? Left guard, Joey. I feel like they like their. Well, you know what? Maybe because Fournier got hurt, but that would be something like your third or fourth guard. I think there's an overwhelming sense of wide receiver vibes going around here. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one, Professor. He said, I don't think they'll make any more moves, but I hope they do. I hope like hell they do. Like, right? Like, listen, everybody's making these moves. We made our move. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like there could be another one you can make to help you get to where you want to get to. But how often do you see Cowboys get involved twice at the trade deadline? All right, let's get to 214 right quick. What's good, 214? 214 going once.
Hey, morning, Scott.
Gotcha. What's up, man?
This is Quindell Daniels on Twitter. Quindell Daniels in the chat. And I was watching that Micah Parsons in the locker room. At the very end, he says a slight comment about Damon Clark being faster than him so far in practice.
You saw that too. I should have pulled that today, but we're doing offense. Maybe I'll pull it tomorrow. But let's talk about it, man. Tell the folks what you heard.
I forget the question, but they were asking him about his fastest play on the field, and he brought up his GPS in practice, got up to 20.5.
Mm-hmm.
But right now there's a competition between him and Damon Clark as far as being the fastest on defense.
Yo, when I saw that clip, I said, "There's no way, bro. There's no way." So what he's saying, Cowboys Nation, is they have this GPS thing. They track their miles per hour running and whatnot, and for the most part, Micah usually always wins in that room. But Damone Clark apparently is leading the pack as the fastest linebacker on the team. What? What? Bro, listen, see, I wish he would have never told me that, because now, Cowboys Nation, I'm gonna have to keep pounding this drum to get Damone Clark on that field sooner though. I was one of those, hey, ease him in here, get him on special teams. Let's see what happens in December and January, man. Listen.
But let's just think about Big Hankins in the middle with Sam Williams getting more reps, Michael on the other side, D-Law, of course, getting involved. But now you have a fast linebacker like a Micah Parsons in the middle of the defense.
That's always been the vision, right? Like, my vision was I was thinking maybe next year, because I just didn't think Damone Clark would get like real defensive reps this year. But I mean, he's back here in October. He probably won't be active this week. If he is, it'll be special teams. But man, if we can get him a couple weeks, right, 2-3 weeks of special teams, and then start just sprinkling him in on defense, man, I would love that, dog. Because you get that type of athleticism, and it ain't just athleticism. Again, I feel like I have to say this. I did it with Micah. Dude's smart. Dude has a high football IQ from the linebacker position as well. So he'll see it and he'll get there quicker, and he'll get there with some force. So, yeah, that made me real excited.
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much of the time. I'm still watching the show. I just was excited about that when I saw Micah speaking about speed on the field.
Yeah, man. Hey, good call. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I did see that yesterday.
Yes, sir. You have a good one, Sky.
You too. Anybody else catch that? That's true. I see people saying he had fresh legs. And of course, he's not faster from a 40 standpoint and whatnot. But just that competition, the fact that there's actually a competition in season, like, yo, XYZ is right up there with me in regards to speed, on-field speed, padded speed, whatever it may be, is exciting. Because there's no way LVE, Anthony Barr, Brillo, salute to Brillo, but who else? Nobody on that defense aside from maybe Anthony Brown and I think Anthony Brown like a 4.3 something. Maybe Kelvin Joseph is really getting with Micah from a speed standpoint. And we talking about a goddamn linebacker. Get my guy out here. A1 says Anthony Schwartz trade coming to take the top off. Isn't that the cat from Auburn? I think I feel like we got a guy like that, a little diminutive guy, unless Schwartz is bigger than I thought. But I thought Schwartz was like sub 6 foot, sub 5'11", smaller guy. You got that interpret, right? And then I think 6 to Midnight said, I hope the trade that the Philadelphia Eagles made brings a bit of a sense of urgency to the Cowboys front office. Sure. I feel like they've been doing these type of trades and signings for a long time, and that didn't speed up any urgency. But I'll say this: 6 to Midnight. Schwartz is 6'1". Wow, I know that. I'll say this: you look across the NFC, the big bad wolves aren't big and bad anymore. Tom Brady and the Bucks, Packers, Rams. We already saw what we did to the Rams. Now, that was early, but whatever. With a backup. I just feel like you're right there. This is the perfect year to say, okay, we will sacrifice a early day 2 pick to try to get through what we think is a bit of an easier road than maybe in years past to get to the Super Bowl. Obviously, Philly is at the top there, but if you're saying my division rival is the one I got to get through, the one who only beat the Cowboys by 9 points with a backup quarterback who gave him 3 turnovers, then yeah, I'd have a little urgency to make a move to propel us to the top of the NFC. I don't think there's a... Now, the Niners are always gritty. They'll finish 10-7, 9-8, get into the playoffs and be a tough out, right? Because that's who they are. But I'm just saying, man, I'm all for making one of those moves. The NFC is not stacked. This ain't the AFC. It's not stacked. I don't think anybody would look sideways at Steven. Like, I think Steven's afraid to be wrong. No one will be mad at you, Steven, if you got aggressive and it didn't work out. You know what I mean? In fact, I think you'd get more sympathy. You get more people on your side if you got aggressive and it didn't work out. See, look, he can do it. Or See, look, this doesn't work, so keep doing it my way. I think it's a win-win if Stephen Jones pushed his chips to the middle of the table. All right, let me get one more in. Then we're gonna break down this running back situation, y'all. Good stuff so far. My Reading brother, how you doing, man?
Oh, good morning. God bless you and the family and the show like always. And I hope you had a good birthday like yesterday. I just want to ask you a question. That Robert Quinn sign, do you think that makes the Eagles like a legit number one defense?
Number one, I mean, they're already a legit defense, but it makes them even better. As much as we, as Cowboys fans, we want to poo-poo it because we're Cowboys fans. When you remove the Cowboy fandom real quick and just look at it from a football standpoint, it's a good move. Without a doubt, he's better than the Eagles' fourth or fifth pass rusher or third pass rusher. Hell, he might be better than a second pass rusher if he's given the same opportunities of one-on-ones, but yeah, I mean, it's a good move. It makes them a little bit better. Does it make them the best defense?
That's what I wanted to know.
I think from a best defense standpoint, NFC East, Cowboys, Eagles, Bucks, and Niners, they're all right there. I think as the best defenses in the NFC. I think Cowboys and Eagles, I would go as the top two right now with the Niners.
Oh, and another question real quick. I wanted to ask you, do you think that Jamal Clark, you think he's going to be seeing the field, or do you think they're going to just bring him like first on the special team, let him get his feet wet, and then put him in the game as they go on?
Yeah, the latter part. They'll ramp him up special teams, see how he plays on special teams, see how his body handles getting hit and whatnot, and then we take a look maybe sometime at the end of November, early December, if they look to kind of sprinkle him in, depending on how LVE and Barr is playing, right? Maybe they turn it up even more.
Yeah, because I was looking at his tapes, and I like the way he moves. I mean, LVE, he do his thing, but I think, being that, the young boy, I think he can do a little bit more for us. I mean, once he gain experience, like anything, because you got to have experience to do better at whatever you do. But, I think our defense is going to still be number one, but that Robert Quinn, Robert Quinn signed to the Eagles, that really, I don't know. We gotta get our stuff together, because that signing could really put them over the top. I mean, that's what I see that happen. And I think we got to get a number one receiver, really. I mean, at least a receiver that can really help.
I'm with you on that one, man. I think that's how you combat that. But what I'll talk about here in a quick second.
Okay, well, God bless you in this show still, like always, and keep up the good work, my brother.
Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Yeah, I think that's how you combat that. I don't think you're making a move for a starting offensive lineman or anything that deals with Robert Quinn. They have good. It sounds crazy because Bradbury was trash last year, but Bradbury's been really good. Darius Slay is obviously a good corner. Their pass defense has been playing well. In that Eagles game, we go back and watch the film. It was still some weirdness in regards to separation from the receivers. I mean, obviously, Gallup is still trying to get back. Noah is trending back to being what he was, rather really good run blocking guy, tough physical wide receiver. Lamb is going to be Lamb, but I do think he needs a running mate. I do think you're going to need somebody to help open up this passing game, unless Gallup turns it up. If Gallup turns it up, then you might be fine, but that'd be the move, y'all. Appreciate you, King. But I don't think it's going to be about the passing game Sunday against the Bears. We'll break down their defense here in a second. Zeke may not play with his knee injury. And honestly, as I said earlier, maybe I'll ask you guys, y'all think that Zeke should sit or just gut it through? I think Zeke should sit. And that's just me on Thursday saying that. What if Saturday comes, his knee swells down, he's fine, whatever. But I think he should sit because I think that the Cowboys have enough behind Zeke and a good enough offensive line, run blocking offensive line, and they play a defense that's not great at stopping the run, to get by and get this dub, or at the very least be productive on the ground. They asked Mike McCarthy about Tony Pollard and Malik Davis, and what they could do if they were called upon. And this is what Mike McCarthy had to say in the first word.
How has Malik Davis grown since training camp?
I'll tell you what, I think really he's one of the players that took a huge jump in the preseason games. I think just like anything, that's why you practice and that's why you ultimately play the games. But I thought his natural run instinct really came to light in the preseason games, and I think he's definitely getting more and more comfortable with his reps, especially on special teams. So I think he's gotten better each week.
Have you seen Pollard improve as a north-south runner since you've been here, and is he taking some of the Zeke type of carries now more than maybe he did?
I mean, I can't really speak, on Tony prior to my arrival, but I've always been impressed with, I call it calm and color running. I think Tony Pollard is a very good between the tackles runner because he's in the crease as it opens. And I think that's a huge characteristic to I've always looked for when you're evaluating running backs. So his ability to accelerate the crease, I think he does an excellent job of it. So I would definitely classify him as an excellent between the tackles runner.
Man, I love when Mike McCarthy kind of throws some football isms at you that you don't hear often. Common color running, accelerate the crease. I love it. Mike McCarthy's he's a footballs guy. Footballs guy. And I love to hear him talk football. Sometimes he has to realize he's in Dallas, so he has to be careful what he says. But I'd imagine in Green Bay, he was probably talking a lot more freely on things, but you can't do that in Dallas. But one thing that he brought up that I think a lot of fans, there's like this misconception about Tony Pollard is that he can't run between the tackles. And he asked TP about it. TP was like, I thought the film shows that I can, but even when we want to break down the numbers, it showed, and this is just this year, he showed that he can run between the tackles. He has 28 carries between the tackles this year, 191 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 carries of 10 plus yards, and he's forced 8 missed tackles in between the tackles, by the way, y'all, not outside. And there's this other common misconception that, he's a scat back type of small dude, and because he's a bit taller and that weight doesn't look like it's heavy on him. Tony Pollard told the reporters yesterday he's up to 217 pounds. That's not a small back. I ain't saying it's a huge back, but it's not a small back. And if you go look at the Detroit game, most of his big runs came between the tackles. And a lot of his big runs over the year have come between the tackles. In fact, his 2 biggest runs of 50 and 40-some yards have come between the tackles. And what I love about TP, while he may not be heavy, top heavy in the sense of like Zeke is, he will try to finish with some power. Like this isn't a guy that's trying to tiptoe. He's going to try to finish with some power, even if that's not his game. So I'm fine with TP between the tackles. I love the acceleration to the crease because he does that. I think he presses the hole well and he can cut back. I think he has, solid vision in between the tackles. And the problem with him compared to Zeke is he can get there quicker. And if he gets there quicker, he could turn a 10-yard gain into a 40-yard gain. All right. And that's what he does. But I don't think it's running that people will worry about for Tony Pollard when it comes to a full game purpose, right? Like if Tony Pollard has to be involved all game, it's the pass blocking, right? Like we want to see TP do more of these things in the pass blocking department and not what we saw in week 1. And that's something that I have to give to those. Week 1 was not a good showing from a pass blocking department. And then the Rams dialed up a great play that fooled Tony Pollard, although the call was for him to come up to help the guard. So really fooled the call. And Jalen Ramsey got the sack. But we need to see more of these positive blocks from TP on a consistent basis. Because week 1, for whatever reason, Cowboys Nation, they had Tony Pollard blocking 14 different times. 14? What the hell are we doing? So, listen, I'm not expecting Tony Pollard to be this great blocker or even consistently good one. I just need him to be consistently average. But I don't want him pass blocking 14 different times. But maybe this week he might have to if he's going to be RB1 moving forward until Zeke comes back. But Tony Pollard's not the only guy that I think is going to get you some reps. I know. He's not the only guy that's going to get you some reps. Young Malik Davis. I remember Malik Davis. Rookie from Florida. Played really well in the preseason. Had 31 carries, 132 yards on the ground in the preseason. Had the touchdown right there. 4.3 yards per carry. Did well as a pass catcher. Was improving on special teams. He had 31 snaps the last 2 weeks because of his improvement on special teams in the preseason. And to be honest, I think look at that boy. I think fresh legs. I'm kind of excited to see this duo if it is the duo this week. This isn't saying anything about Zeke, right? Like this is more so, hey, Zeke's been getting banged up, a lot of carries. Let's let him rest a little bit because you're going to need him down the stretch anyway. But just look at the pop that Davis runs with as a top-heavy type of back, as a more powerful back. He got some spring to him, man. He got some spring to him, and I think that spring would give not just the Bears, but, some opponents trouble because you're not really losing any of that pop between Zeke and Tony Pollard. I'm sorry, between Tony Pollard and Malik Davis. Tony Pollard is going to give you more electric, but they both have pop at the line of scrimmage. They both have pop soon as that ball gets in their hands, and it's easy to see when Malik Davis touches it. So I'm actually excited, Cowboys Nation, to see a little bit more Malik Davis this week. We've been asking to see TP get the 17 carries as opposed to the 12. I think his career high has been 17 in college. Let's see it. Let's see Tony Pollard, 17 carries, 4 receptions, 21 touches, and Malik Davis give you about 10 carries. You're talking about 27 rushes on the game. You might even rush for more than that because his team is pretty poor against the run. So how y'all feeling about a potential Malik Davis, Tony Pollard duo this week? I'm excited for it. If it is, I know it's early, it's Thursday. I might be talking and getting ahead of myself, but I think Malik Davis and Tony Pollard can present a very exciting 1-2 punch this week. I know y'all didn't bring up Ryan, no. Sounds fun. Next man up. Feeling good. Set it off Chris with the fire emojis. Yeah, just have a seat, Zeke. Take your time. Take your time. We'll be fine. We have a really good run blocking unit. Kellen Moore is doing some different things in the run game. I hate to say this because y'all know I don't really bring that back. Dan Orlovsky, okay? I say this all the time. Dan's a smart dude, man. Like, if Dan is not hating and following the Cowboys rhetoric so you can get, famous or whatever, he's a smart football guy. And he said something about, was it Kellen? I think it was Kellen. I think he was talking about Kellen. He might have been talking about Kellen or somebody else, but he basically said what I was saying the other day. All of those creative things that you've been doing from time to time, sparingly, this game here, this series here, you don't bring it back. No. Take it all, put it in the pot, and just do it over and over and over again. Because you got about 6 or 7 different cool little things that you can play off. He basically likened it to the Chiefs. He said, Andy Reid, do what Andy Reid does. They got about 10 creative plays. That is who they are, and they build off of that. And that's what I was trying to say the other day. Like, yeah, I'm encouraged with some of the creativity I'm seeing, but then we're not doing these things on a consistent basis. Make that who you are. So hat tip to Dan Orlovsky because I'm like, Yes, we're on the same page. That's what I'm looking for. So I do think you have some creative run schemes, and I think those run schemes are tailor made to your offensive line, your wide receiver, because Noah Brown could do some things, and your running backs. So do them over and over and over to teams say, damn it, we gotta. I don't care if it's Dak in there. We have to put 8 in the box. We have to commit to this Turpin going this way and sliding a guy out, because I noticed that on film for the Bears. If you got guys moving, like with the Cowboys, that'll hold a certain player, and now there's a crease. Yeah, he did. He had something to say about Reese Cups. That was weird on Twitter, but yeah, man, put that thing in there, mix it up. Yeah, I mean, and we'd be good. All right, let's get back to the phone lines, but before we do that, take a slight break, y'all. In the U.S., more than 39 million men suffer from ED. Boston Scientific created edcure.org to help you find your best cure. Here's how you get started. You go to edcure.org, take a quiz, and learn your severity or risk of ED. If you have a condition that puts you at a higher risk, you'll find customized content for you. The fastest way to find your best cure is to contact an ED specialist by browsing a list of experienced physicians in your area. Visit edcure.org. Brought to you by Boston Scientific. Absolutely not my favorite Gregory at all, but what are you going to do? You got to get that. I don't even have my drop no more, do I? God damn, I don't got it no more. Nah, I don't. But you got to get, you got to get what you got to get. The Silver Fox. Let's jump back into these phone lines. I had Twan holding, man. I ain't talked to Twan in the grip. What's goody?
What's good, Scott? What's good, Scott? Hey, man, I hope that 95 birthday treated you well, my boy.
First of all,
I'm a man. I'm 40.
There you go.
Oh, my God. That never gets off the greatest sound bit I ever heard. But now, Scott, to add to your point, yeah, one thing I can tell you I was for this preseason was the running back play. I definitely think we really hit the nail when we got these backs this year. And I was a bit bummed. I don't know if you remember, but that one other back that we got from like a small school who got injured.
Aaron Shamplin.
Yeah, he made it real competitive. But to add to your point, though, I really want to see if, first of all, what happened with Zeke? I don't really know how he got injured.
It was like his last carry against Seattle. He tweaked something. I asked was it Skip Pete after the game about it, and it was like a sprained ankle or something like that, or a high ankle sprain. That's what it was. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, I personally agree with you. I think we should definitely use TP and Malik Davis, because I think guy pointed out in the super chat. He said that one thing that we wanted Zeke to be was to still have that explosive as soon as he gets the ball. But from watching our highlights of Malik Davis, like, he does have that little pop. And I heard that also. What you say?
I said, don't he?
Yeah, he had like an explosiveness, like as soon as he touches it, like you can see like I don't know, it's like with backs, like as soon as they get the ball, you want them to have that like explosiveness off the first step, or like either once they make the first read, then just hit it and go. But I kind of see that from Malik Davis, and I like that. And I heard from training camp that, like, I think he commented on Malik Davis' playing. He said that he can make people miss in between tackles. I really do agree with you. As far as else, I really would like to see, like, with play calling too, like, take the stuff that's been working. Like with the New York Giants game, I really think that's the best game that Kellen Moore has called.
One of his best I've ever seen him call. Seriously.
Yeah, like, I like what we were doing that game, and I really want us to take from that game and learn from it and continue to use it throughout the season. And I think we're really one move away on offense from counteracting from what the She-Gulls did. Yes, I said She-Gulls because they're still shit.
Love it.
But I think one wide receiver away from probably counteracting that, and then I think really, I guess we're golden, honestly. But as always, Scott, appreciate you taking my call. As always, I'm continue to watch and support you, man. Salute.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate your support. Been supporting for a minute. And let me be objective, right? Let me be fair too. Like, and what I mean is, but everything's been talking about TP, talking about Malik Davis has been, oh, this is great, and I think it will be great. But to be fair, I think what you will be lacking is the obvious, and that's what happens when teams blitz. What happens in pass blocking and whatnot. You're clearly going to take a slight decrease in that area. Like Malik Davis hasn't had to deal with that just quite yet, so we don't know what he's going to do. We know TP is very hit or miss with it, and he's not the same build and same mentality from a pass blocking standpoint that Ezekiel Elliott has. So that is something that I'm pretty sure they're looking at, like, okay, well, maybe we have to do a little bit more 12. Maybe if you look at the first blitz that the Detroit Lions did, you saw Dalton Schultz back there, but I'd rather put to my, but you saw Dalton Schultz back there. Maybe they do some things like that to offset what they lose with Ezekiel Elliott out. Wouldn't that be funny? Bet you nobody's going to ask Jerry Jones that question. Hey, Jerry, would you welcome a running back controversy? You know damn well, they ain't finna say nothing about that. You know what I mean? 917, what's up? 917, New York.
Hello?
Yep, you live.
Yeah, what's up, Steve? How you doing? This is New York.
New York. You got your Timbs on, man?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, here we go. It's October. This Tim season.
Yes, sir. It's definitely getting a little cold out here. It's day by day.
What's up with you?
Yeah, I just want to ask you. I'm going to start off the call hot. Would it be an asinine statement to say that CeeDee Lamb is not our number one receiver?
Yeah, I think that'd be asinine to say he's not our number one receiver. But if you would have went with,
excuse me, I worded that wrong. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
a number one receiver.
I have to be fair. I don't think it's asinine because a lot of people are asking the question, right? I'm not going to be like, oh, you're crazy for thinking that. I personally think he has all the wide receiver one traits from a talent standpoint. I'm gonna keep saying it, put it on a loop. It's a broken record. It's just more of the mentality that we got to see here with CeeDee Lamb. But it's so hard to really gauge that in this scheme, man. But I don't think it's asinine to answer your question, no.
Right. Yeah, because before the season, I must admit, I was one of those people that were a little worried how he'd handle the taking on number one corners and the safety help and all that. And,
but see,
you know.
That to me, that's not, and I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry about that. To me,
no problem.
Taking on a safety and number one corners, he can play against top corners, but if he's not getting the ball thrown his way, right, or if it's not schemed right for him, or if it's not, hey, we got to get CeeDee Lamb to rock, then how can I put that? This is just the Amari Cooper thing all over again, right? Like, how can I get mad at Amari Cooper when he's open and he's not getting the ball, or when he's not being schemed part of the game plan? He came out and told y'all, I would love to be a part of the third down offense. That was telling us he wasn't a part of the third down offense. I would love to be a part of the red zone offense. That's telling us he wasn't a part of the red zone offense. So I think it becomes really hard to gauge the Cowboys' top wide receiver in this specific scheme because of what we decide to do, right? Spread it around. We don't want to target one guy, et cetera, et cetera. But with that said, CeeDee Lamb is on pace. I don't know what you got going on over there. For like 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns or something like that. It's not crazy production, but it's on par for what he's been doing. So I still think if CD was in a different system, he probably puts up the 1,300, 1,400 yards, but that's just probably never going to happen here.
Right.
And he out there by his damn self, like somebody said, yeah.
Right. See, the only part I refute on what you just said about the Amari Cooper situation is I agree. Even, sometimes Amari Cooper wouldn't have gotten the touches, but him being the number one that he is, even Amari Cooper not getting the touches, it still had a great effect on what was going on. Sure. Same thing you would hope with CD, even if CD's not getting these. Not to say he hasn't been open the field up for Noah Brown and his other
there you
receiver
go.
counterparts. But
So,
right,
my New York brother, how do we know he's not having that effect? Because hear me out.
Exactly.
When Amari Cooper is drawing attention and pulling people away, there was a CD Lamb taking advantage of it. There is no CD Lamb opposite of CD Lamb. Does that make sense? Right? Like there's no Michael Gallup ain't that guy right now. No, Noah Brown ain't that guy, right?
Right.
So how do we?
I agree. We don't have anybody that's going to completely take advantage of a number 2 corner. I agree.
It's a weird situation, which is why I think just bring in a true running mate for CD Lamb right now, and let's boogie.
Right. All right. That's all I wanted to say on the CD Lamb, because as a Cowboys fan, I don't want to come to the realization that he may not be what we expected, but it's all right. And then as far as the one more thing I have to say, and I'll let you go, is as far as the Bears, I know everybody's probably been saying the same thing, but I have seen some run schemes that they run that might give us some trouble, Now, I'm not saying that it's gonna be anything that'll cause a loss or anything, but my thing is I don't want another ugly win, Scott. I don't want another win where it's like, we won, but they ran for 160 on us and we didn't fix our number one problem with our defense. But we won though, because they're a bad team. Because that's how I felt like the vibe was with the Lions.
Yeah, I used to be like, I want to win a certain way, and then part of me still does. But brother, if you go out here and you win 24-6, and they rush for 160 yards, do you really care?
Yeah, the context matters to me still. With that Lions game, I'm gonna be honest. I was a little disappointed. That was a game up until the same thing we say with the Eagles. Yeah, I had a game.
Well, I didn't give you context. I didn't give you context. I just said 24-6. Right. What if it's 21 to nothing in the third quarter? Mm-hmm. And then they score a touchdown, try to go for 2 or something like that. Like, you see what I'm saying? I didn't give you the context. I'm just giving you the score.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what happens in between. Yeah, the Lions game was not clean. There's no doubt about it. You're going to go through that, right? Like, you're going to go through those games. That happens. First week back with your quarterback, but you got 5 turnovers and 5 sacks, and
you can't listen. Can't complain about that.
It's really hard for me to come out of that game and be like, man, I didn't like that. Like, I come out of that game like this: you got the dub, you dominated defensively, some things to clean up, and let's move forward and build on top of that. If it's a gritty, grinded out game going into the bye week and you win by 18 points, I will not complain. But we will dissect it, figure out where we need to get better at, and move on from there.
Right. Listen, I agree 100%. On that note, I'll let you go still. I really appreciate the call.
Thanks,
hopefully we could find a way to combat the Bears' running attack. And if we can get a convincing win going into the bye, I think we're in as good a spot as anyone could have imagined after what happened to our starting quarterback. So,
Facts.
So it's all good over here with me. Appreciate
good stuff,
you,
bro.
Phil.
Appreciate you. Yeah, the morale would be even higher if you win pretty. If the offense starts clicking and things like that. But he brought up a point we talked about yesterday. The Bears do present offensively a challenge that you are trying to get better at defensively, and that's running the ball, and that's some eye candy stuff. But I meant to ask the guy if he was here yesterday. Yes, they do some of that eye candy stuff. Yes, they do some of that RPO stuff, but they also do a lot of traditional I formation running, and I welcome that. Will they do that on Sunday? I'm not familiar enough with their offensive coordinator to know his tendencies. All we have is his last game, and he did switch up some things a little bit. He decided to run Justin Fields more, and I probably look at it like they're probably gonna say, "Yo, let's keep running Justin Fields," because if we want to just line up, bring my fullback in here and just try to run on the Cowboys, yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. I think you're gonna have to do some eye candy stuff, horizontal stuff, RPO, get Justin Fields on the move, and things like that. But you know what stops all of that? Score some damn points. It's one of those games where get up on them. Get up on this Chicago team. They can't throw the ball, and make them have to throw the ball. Why do you get up on them, Scott? You punish the defense in an area where they're not good. Now, I do think that the Bears sport a more respectable defense than their offense, but there's pros and cons to both sides of their ball. Alan Williams is their defensive coordinator. He calls the plays for Matt Eberflus, who we're familiar with. He didn't want to be one of those head coaches that is calling the plays. He wanted to be a walk-around guy because there's a lot more to deal with. So Alan Williams is their guy. 7th in the league in points scored, 12th in yards, 5th in turnovers. So this is not a Lions defense. I think this is a more respected defense because I think they're more respected on the back end, in my opinion. Now, the last 2 weeks, they held the Commanders and the Patriots to 12 and 14 points, so maybe things are turned around. They held them to under 300 total yards, but we're also talking about the Commanders and the Patriots. I'm not trying to put us up there offensively on the pedestal just quite yet, but we ain't the Commanders or the Patriots. Nonetheless, I do believe that their defense is, if I want to use the word carried or whatever, but their strength does lie in their secondary, in my opinion. Whether it's good or bad, the way to look at this, but their secondary is what is the best aspect, the more talent overall, et cetera, et cetera. The 3rd in pass yards allowed, 14th in completion percentage, 15th in yards per completion, and 2nd in the NFL in interceptions. Again, some of that, you can look at it both ways. You can look at it as, hey, teams don't want to throw on them a lot, and they don't because you can run on them. And teams only throw 48% of the time. That's the lowest in the NFL. Or you can say teams just choose to run on them. But as a football fan, again, removing my Cowboy hat here, I like how they built their secondary. I mean, if you are draft guy over the last couple of years, you're familiar with the names Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker. Like, I like these guys coming out, and they're coming into form. Brisker and Kyler Gordon, rookies who are playing some good ball, but they're rookies. And then Jalen Johnson is coming into form, right? But the guy that leads the entire group, man, is one of my favorite safeties. Again, find me my safe word here. We're about to talk about safeties. It's Eddie Jackson, man. I think Eddie Jackson is, I don't even know, is he underrated anymore? I don't know. People don't know Chicago Bears, like, right? But Eddie Jackson is one of the most underrated players, period, in the NFL, I think. But one of the best safeties in the league, man. He's always around the ball, always creating for his defense. He already has 3 picks, 2 forced fumbles, and 3 pass breakups. So I think he's the guy that you can't let make that play for the Chicago Bears defense. He's the guy. We can't have, I'm just trying stuff here from Dak Prescott, right? Like, I don't think you're going to fool Eddie Jackson too much. He's a fantastic cover guy. So just make sure we're picking and choosing our spots correctly because he will get his hands on the ball. But that's what they're really, I think, fueled by is their talent on that back end. And when you look at the front end, it's even more impressive how well they can play because they don't have a pass rush, man. Like their pass rush, and look, now there's no more Quinn. There's no more Quinn. There's no Khalil Mack. And the player that leads their team in sacks on that defense is a linebacker, Roquan Smith, with 2.5. 20th in the league in sack percentage, and that's without a Robert, or that's with the Robert Quinn. Now they have no Robert Quinn. So this could be one of those games where Kellen Moore is going to have to fight the urge to want to throw the ball all over the field because you might have a pocket to do it consistently. No. Don't do that. Run the ball. Their run defense has not been good. 29th in yards allowed, 29th in touchdowns, 24th in yards per carry. This isn't a good run defense. And teams are running on these dudes at a higher clip than almost anyone in the league. With that said, they are coming off their best performance against the Patriots, but again, we ain't the Patriots. No offense to them. Now, before y'all come on here and say, well, because I've heard this before. Well, if Roquan Smith is so good, why is their run defense so bad? Relax. Ain't got shit to do with Roquan. No. He leads all of the NFL in 31 stops, or with 31 stops, and 24 of them have come on the ground, which also leads all linebackers. His average tackle per depth is significantly lower than any of our linebackers. So he's an impressive guy on a defense collectively that can't stop the run. It's because their defensive line is not that great. Their small defensive line, it gets pushed around a bit. And we are a physical, tough offensive front. I think we're going to have a day on them. But let's keep talking about Roquan for a quick second here. I don't want y'all to get it twisted about Roquan Smith. Let me put this in perspective for y'all. His stops and tackles for loss are more than Anthony Barr and LVE combined. But with that said, I hope he has the worst game of his life on Sunday. I hope he has the worst game ever. I like it, Roquan, but we can't have you playing well on Sunday. I think what you need to do, though, from a football standpoint, is make him have to fight through the scrum, make him have to get through the trash, meet him with big bodies. He's not the biggest of dudes from a linebacker standpoint. But if you are not getting square with him, if he sees it, he is quick enough, he's fast enough, he's instinctive enough, and he's powerful enough to blow it up. So make him have to fight through it all. Make him have to, hey, I got to go left. Nope, it's coming right. Or here it comes 66 or 73 on the pull. Don't make it easier on him. And then finally, man, like I said about their defensive line, if Rob Marinelli were on that team, that term orphans would be a thing. It's a defensive line full of orphans, man. I mean, I'm sorry, and this is no disrespect to the guy. They're football players. They're 1%, and they could come out and have the game of their lives. They're dressing up and they all orange. It's the Cowboys, right? It's AT&T Stadium. They could come out here and do what the Bears or the Lions did, right? They made it tough. They don't got an Aiden Hutchinson though, but they made it tough. But that defensive line is not good, man. And they don't got Robert Quinn. And Quinn ain't good in the run game anyway. But I think the way for the Bears to make things difficult for the Cowboys in the ground game is going to be numbers. It's going to be putting 8 guys in the box, 9 guys in the box, things like I seen them do that. I watched the Minnesota game. They would bring down the safety, bring over a corner, stack the box. That's how they want to beat you here. So that's why I think you're going to need some of that creativity in the run department. Yeah, you probably can line up and push those guys back. But I still think you want to get guys going left to right, get Noah Brown coming in, get some counters going, some pulls. Get creative in that ground game, and I think you can open this thing up. I'm talking about an explosive run defense or run offense type of game for the Cowboys. But that's the Bears defense, man. It's a more respectable unit than the Lions. And mostly because of their pass defense is full of some quality young guys. Eddie Jackson is not young, but he's obviously one of the best safeties. Did somebody say Foots was in here? Foots, you know what I'm talking about with Eddie Jackson. Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson. They got some guys. You know, they got some guys back there, some young guys, though. That's the thing. They're young, and Dak is a mature quarterback that I think you can take advantage of him with CeeDee Lamb. But how much do they want to do that, knowing that you can run on these guys? And Kendall Vilder is also playing some good ball, too. Is this news? Should I press the button on news? Professor O says Bobby Belt just tweeted that Michael Irvin told 105.3 The Fan that he personally knows that Odell Beckham has interest in playing for the Dallas Cowboys. Of course he got interest, right? Odell, to me, Odell would be something for like December, January. Would welcome it without a doubt. I'm kind of looking for something now, though. I'm looking for something now. I'm looking for something right after this bye week. Get you integrated going up to Lambeau. That's just me being greedy. It's me being greedy, but beggars can't be choosers. I would take Odell Beckham for the last 4 game stretch. I'll go look on Twitter. Let's get back to the phone lines. B Bird, what's up? What's good, B Bird? I got you in here.
Hey, what's up, Scott? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, y'all. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey, so I want to just the front office. I kind of come down on them, but I want to just give them a shout out, whoever spearheaded this. For the longest, the Cowboys have really valued entertainment. Like they want to win, throwing the ball around with Romo and scoring 30-some points a game. I thought that was important to them to be an entertaining product. But adopting this defense first, run game first, it's not sexy. And I'm surprised they even went to that because when was the last time they actually said, hey, we're going to rely on our defense? They hadn't done it. They hadn't stocked their teams to be
I was about to say, when's the last time they had a defense you could say that about?
Yeah. And so, but the thing about it is you have to create that defense too. You have to have, but they've always put money in offense. They didn't really put the money in defense.
Bro.
And so
they're not putting money on defense though.
Well, I mean, when I say deep, I'm saying draft capital also. But I'm just saying this.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish because they actually have put tons of draft capital defensively. It just never has worked out to this point. But yeah. I see what you're saying. But the Cowboys have put draft capital to the defensive side of the ball. I think the difference is you got a coach in Dan Quinn who knows how to put it all together. But go ahead.
Yeah. So. With the okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, but so this is what I'm saying. I just don't. I think they don't really. They really. I think the Joneses really. They like to entertain. They want to throw the ball. They like when Tony Romo was here, throw the ball all around the field. It was exciting, but it wasn't winning football. But I just like the fact that they just said, hey, we're going to win any kind of way we can here. Now, I'm not just like we're going to bring in Dak back, we want to throw the ball 35. No, we got a formula that we're going to win with. So I do like that part. The one thing I was going to say is that I think LVE is another part that they've kind of gone back to, and I think it's one of their soft spots where they want to prove that they're right about their draft picks. They want to prove, and so what they're doing right now is just keeping them out there to prove they're right. But I think LVE may be some damaged product as far as his neck is concerned. He may be that guy that said, I can't come down the field hard and just bang somebody in the backfield real hard. Why? Because of my neck. I don't know if he's reluctant to do that, and he's kind of catching people down the field. But that's the one, because I don't believe that he's better than the backups. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that the backups can give you more aggressive, see ball, go get ball type efforts than what LVE is giving you. And I think they just want to prove themselves right. That's why they gave him this 1-year contract. Just kind of, man, we're just going to give him one more year just to see, but that draft pick just hadn't panned out. And I just think that we have some linebackers back there, Jefferson, some of our rookies that I think could do a probably as good or better job than him, seeing it and going and getting it, man. That's all I got to say, man. I'll continue to listen to you off air.
Appreciate you, B-Bird. I was hoping that in the offseason we'd go get a more of a Dan Quinn type of guy at the position. But then Anthony Barr, kind of similar to LVE in the sense of size and stature and whatnot. We talked about it before. Dan Quinn linebackers usually are the fast, quick, can cover guys. At one point was sub 235. But then he kept LVE around, got Anthony Barr. Said, okay, where are we going here? And then you start hearing him talk about length. They want the length and et cetera, et cetera. And one of the questions we have is, well, why aren't the young guys getting opportunities? I just think they trust the veterans. That's probably too simple, but they trust Anthony Barr. They trust LVE. to be where they need to be, et cetera, et cetera. And I mean, until it costs the Cowboys, I don't think they're going to have too many conversations about it. But they do like Damone Clark, so we'll see what happens with Damone Clark. But as far as leaning on the ground, B Bird, I gotta say, they've tried this before. They've done this before. Jason Garrett ushered in an entirely different mentality to the Joneses, matter of fact. He went to them and said, okay, enough is enough. You have not drafted a tackle, an offensive lineman in your entire tenure here. Go give me 3 of them, in a 3-year span. Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, and Fred Beard. And JG also said, oh, we're going to throw this thing back to the old days, to where I know how we get done. Offensive line and running the ball. Here, DeMarco Murray, 2014. Help out your quarterback. We ain't slinging around with him. He gets hurt. Here, Dak Prescott. Turn around, hand it off to Zeke for 3 years. So, they actually acquiesce to that portion of, hey, play defense, run the ball. It was run the ball to help your defense. Now it's like, yo, we might have one of them ones on defense. So it feels like they're more steadfast on it. Oh, we got messed. We don't have to throw it around crazy because we got one of those defenses. But if you just say, hey man, let's just do what we were doing prior, right? When we were a running team, play action. You got to throw the ball 30, 35 times a game. We just have more confidence in it because we have a defense now. So they've been trying to be run team guy prior to Kellen. Kellen, I think, came in here and flipped that upside down because it's Kellen. Kellen doesn't come from an era where JG came from. Kellen is 50-2 in college from throwing the ball around. You know what I mean? Kellen came in, saw a stale offense with Scott Linehan and said, ooh, I could turn this thing up. And we kind of got away from what we were doing. Little Big Bro Vach in the building. What's good, fam? I ain't get a chance to see how you held it down yesterday, but I imagine you held it down because that's what you do. As you would say, content king. Oh, but I'll be back. 561, what up?
Hey, Sky.
There you go.
This
What's
is
up?
Aaron.
Oh, Aaron? What's
You
up,
hear me?
man? Yes, sir.
What's up, man? Yeah. Hey, so first thing, you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Okay. So Patrick Walker and OC teased that Micah came second in a foot race last week. And he never said who won. You know who won that foot race?
You must have not been here earlier. Yeah, we talked about the Damone Clark, Michael Parsons thing earlier in the show.
Yeah.
And we had some fun with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed the beginning, so
yeah, it's cool.
Sorry about that. All right. So secondly, tell me where you've heard this before. All right, so we're up against a team that likes to play a lot of too high, has a good defense, doesn't really have a great passing game. But can run the ball. They're really physical. They wear orange, and then they trade their best pass rusher the week before they play us. What does that remind you of?
Don't you dare try to compare this to the goddamn Broncos of last year. Are you kidding me?
Just don't take them lightly.
Are you kidding me?
I think they can slow down our offense because our offense is pretty slow already.
Yeah, but their offense is already slowed down. The reason why I'm mad that you brought that up. First of all, the disrespect, the utter disrespect to the Broncos offense last year with Gordon and Jamal, the other running back and the receivers that they have. The Bears passing offense or offense in general ain't got that. And Teddy Bridgewater is a much better quarterback than Justin Fields, number one. Okay?
That's true.
Number one. Number two, the Broncos defense was one of the best defenses in the NFL last year. Period. The Bears defense sucks at, stopping the run. So I'm sorry, bro. I can't let you compare the two, man. But they do wear orange.
I mean, they were without Bradley Chubb and then Von Miller. So we weren't expecting what they did. You know what I mean? So they they stepped up a level. I'm just saying. I just see.
And they also were the first team to throw a curveball at the Cowboys. And Dak Prescott was coming back off of his injury for the first time. This is the second game for Dak. We know if teams try to throw a curveball at us, he understands what he has to do. Oh, and by the way, our defense ain't giving up no goddamn 30 points.
Great point. All right, Sky, you be good.
Hey, Ron made me put on appreciate you, bro. He made me put on my cowboy hat there, bro. We're not doing that. Do not put that juju on the Cowboys this week. Okay? Damn, hey, Ron, now you're going to have me thinking. When I get to Texas Live, if I start seeing all this orange, and it's going to be, remember when Aaron called in and said, hey, orange team traded their guy. They run the ball. Somebody put him in timeout. Now I'm playing with you, bro. Right, Vic Fangio. Why you put that in my head? Somebody get this out of my head. Where we at? 469. What's up?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Well, I'm good. I was better till Aaron put that in my head. But what up with you?
I want to say this. I believe Zeke will play in the Chicago game, and I know exactly why. I know exactly why. You see that number 34?
Malik
on his bumper?
Mm-hmm.
That dude is a franchise running back. Believe it or not, what I've seen in preseason, he reminds me exactly of DeMarco Murray. So you better be hip to Malik Davis. That dude is the truth, whether we like it or not.
Why wouldn't we like it?
I think Zeke is going to play because that's going to be I think one of the reasons. And the other one is he wants to try to prove how tough he is. But I think he should just chill, let Malik do his thing, and I expect the game similar to the Rams. Way back in the day when DeMarco had 200. I probably say Malik could pull off maybe like 120, $120.
Wow. So that Rams game, I know what you're talking about. I remember that vividly because one of my favorite plays that the Cowboys ran with DeMarco Murray was that delayed counter, was like a counter delay out of the shotgun. He went for 93 yards on one of those runs, but and I think he did rush for like 200 in that game.
Yeah, 200 plus. Yeah.
See, I look at it differently though with Zeke. Like he should feel more comfortable than probably anybody not named Dak Prescott. Hell, maybe even more comfortable than Dak because you heard what Jerry said. This team runs through Ezekiel Elliott. So this is, he looks at it as Zeke's team, right? So if Zeke need a couple plays off, a game off, I think he'd be fine coming back, even if bruh rushes for 120 yards.
Yeah, because Davis is a beast, just straight up. I mean, I can't. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to lose my potential, playing spot to a rookie like that. That dude is a monster. That ain't
going to happen.
I mean, it's not going to happen, but we already know that Zeke long term isn't. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that what he had as a rookie. So his stock is going down. You know what I mean? So it's not like he's going to be here forever.
But we're talking about right now. If you want to talk about after the season, that's fine. But Malik Davis come out and run for 250 yards. Ezekiel Elliott will be back after the bye, man.
I think we should do the Bill Parcells thing. Make it a committee. Keep these running backs fresh.
I say that facts, bro. I was saying that in the beginning of the year. Like you're not going to be this high flying passing offense, and you want to rely more on the run. But I think the best way to do that is to have three guys. Go look at the teams that have done that. It's usually been the top two, and then there's been a third back that has a sneaky 400 yards, a sneaky, 3 touchdowns or something like that. I like to look at the Giants. They had 3 different guys. I would like to look at the Niners. They got like 4 or 5 different guys that can just rotate in there and do well on the ground. I was saying earlier, who was it? Corey Clement. Corey Clement should be a part of this attack, and now it's Malik Davis. But yeah, I'm all for if we're gonna throw the ball or run the ball 30, 35 times, give that third guy 5 carries in the game just to kind of keep the other dudes fresh.
Yes, indeed. And that's all I wanted to say.
All right, man. Appreciate you, big dog.
All right.
AL, is we going to have a running back controversy? Oh, Twan in the building. Look, that's hilarious. I noticed Twan's in the building. Shout out to Mr. Wright. You know, if you bring up Zeke, it's like a bat signal.
Super chat.
He said, "Man, Carla, go take a nap. Y'all stay with the Zeke disrespect." Yeah, I don't think Zeke's going anywhere, man. If anything, I think, you know, we should be happy with what we're seeing with Zeke, man. He's had a good year this year. Long term, yeah, I don't think he's a long term answer here anymore. But this year, I think you're going to need him, man. He does a lot of that dirty work for you. He also dropped a dub in here and said, "Happy belated birthday. I missed it yesterday. Appreciate you, big dog." Had a good one. Went to RH Rooftop. Man, nice. That place is nice. I'm definitely going back down there. Twan dropped another one. Make me sick. And then we went to Knife. Knife was dope, of course. Always dope. Couple other super chats. Let me get to. We ain't even in overtime. Perfect timing today. Oh, Twan dropped another one. Oh, yeah, to make me sick. I got you. The other Twan, Okafor.
Super chat.
Says, "I'm not trading for DJ Moore. Would love to have him. But keep in mind, we have to pay Diggs and CD. Plus, I like CD's upside more, in my opinion. I don't give a damn about pay. We'll deal with that afterwards. Yeah, you can pay who you want to pay and still make moves. I mean, that's I think we're at the point where that has been debunked. That has been debunked. You can pay who you want to pay, still make moves, even if you have to let go of a certain player and bring somebody in. But he says, I like CD's upside more, in my opinion. It's hard for me to separate the two, actually. DJ Moore, for what he's been able to do in Carolina with his quarterback situation and his Matt Rule situation, pretty damn impressive, man. Pretty damn impressive. DJ's World
Super chat
dropped 5 earlier and said no Zeke slander, but Davis is, from what we saw in preseason, what we hoped Zeke could be in this system that they have this season. And you said no Zeke slander, so I'll give it to you. Are y'all really like not feeling Zeke? Appreciate you. Oh, B Bird with the $50 donation. Appreciate you, B Bird.
Super chat.
Dropped a 50 piece for the birthday, man. Thank you. Are we disappointed in Zeke this year? I didn't get that feeling. I feel like he's done a good job this year. Let's see. Let me make sure I ain't tripping, man. I mean, he's not going to get you. He probably going to get you 1,200 yards, but 4 yards per carry on the ground, 4 tutties, 443 yards on 109 carries. I don't know, man. I said it before, and I keep saying it. You need Zeke and Tony Pollard together. I think they just play off each other very well. But with that said, I would rather sit him down so he can be rested up for that stretch run. No need to bring him out there against the Bears, man. Let Malik Davis get some tick while you rest up that knee. We don't want a banged up Zeke. That's the problem. When you get a banged up Zeke, then you're going to get that Zeke you got last year. We don't want that. All right, let's finish off this thing. We're going to lock up the phone lines. We got Reek, 850, and 32. Did I already get you 321? Did I already get you earlier? That's my brother. What up, man?
What's good, bro? I want to give a shout out to my brother Jeremy. That's my twin, bro.
Oh, was that really your brother?
Yeah.
You're not playing. Oh, wait a minute. You dropped the Lamont.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lamont dropped a $2 in a donation.
Super chat.
He said about time my twin called the show. Oh, that's crazy. We got Lamar and Lamont.
First one to have twins call.
Man, we making history over here, man. Let me drop a clue bomb for y'all. We got history popping up over here. What's good, twin?
What's good, bro? Hey, so I had a few things I wanted to say about the Eagles trade for Quinn look, I know a lot of people are worried, but literally all you have to do is just run at him, and you will literally wear him down. That's it. We know he's not good against the run. And we know when the Eagles take out, what's his name, Davis, you can pretty much run all you want, which we did, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, also, number 2, I think I want to ask you, when they were saying that Damone Clark beat Micah, you said it was a foot race, right?
Yeah.
See, the whole time I was thinking like maybe he was talking about when they were doing scrimmages that Damone Clark was beating him to the point of attack.
Yeah.
That's what I thought they were talking about.
Yeah, no, they have a game like that. You're talking about like the get off or whatever. I think they play a competitive game where who has the quickest get off. And because Micah got hurt, he's losing in the points. But this one was pretty much just a foot race.
Okay. And I know, and then my last point, I know earlier you said that you want CD with a running mate.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it would be interesting if you pretty much were to make a move to get a Jerry Jeudy, because the year that CD and Jeudy both came out, those two were pretty much going back and forth to see who the top receivers were.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like maybe those two could push each other to see who could be the top receiver in Dallas if he was to get traded to Dallas somehow, some way.
Yeah, I think that'd be a perfect fit, man. A route guy, explosive within his routes, a guy that can get open on his own, doesn't need the scheme to get him open. A dude you can throw the ball to with confidence. I mean, we watched him against Dallas. He made some really good catches against Dallas last year. I think he'd be – and then he's still on his rookie contract. So, yeah, I would definitely see what's up with that. And they have.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I was going to also bring up that he's still on his rookie contract.
Hey, yo, if the audio is messing up, go out and come back in. YouTube.
You can hear me?
I got you perfectly fine. Somebody said the audio was skipping. I said, just go out and come back in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's the thing I was going to say was that I noticed that he's still on his rookie deal just like CD, and I know everybody keeps talking about money, but people keep forgetting the bargaining agreement is going to make this money skyrocket over these next 5 years. So,
right.
Man.
That's another reason why I don't care.
Take off the salary cap like the Rams did. Who cares? I'm trying to win now.
Yeah, listen, making an aggressive move or paying a player or two is not going to kill you for 10 years on the salary cap, man. Like, I am completely done hearing salary cap excuses. If a move is not made because we're scared to pay a certain player or we got to pay this or pay that, that's no longer an excuse to me. I would rather take that risk, and if you do win the Super Bowl, who cares? Who cares?
Exactly. And then my last thing, happy birthday and happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. All right, bro. That's all I had to say.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir. He brought out the Stevie Wonder. Appreciate you, man. What I love about that, I mean, I don't know if I used to work in an office, and we used to have to sing happy birthday to our office mates or whatever. And there'd be the regular standard birthday. Then immediately after that, my guy Reggie, shout out to Reg. I miss old head Reg. He just break out the Stevie Wonder, and all the black folk just start singing it, and then me in the background. I swear that happens at every birthday function. That is the Stevie Wonder birthday song. Just gets going. I love it. Yeah, Adrian. I said, he just serenaded. Rick.
What's going on, Scott?
What's good,
man? Hey, man. Cowboy Nation, stand up, like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff, man. Like my man was saying like a minute ago, all this Ezekiel Elliott slander needs to stop. We know that he's not the same Ezekiel Elliott from Ohio State when we first drafted him. Right. We know that. But he's still a good running back in this league. And a lot of other teams would love to have him, because you can't tell me just any old kind of running back can go in Philly with that type of defense and run over them like that.
with a backup quarterback. So give my man his props.
Yeah.
Malik Davis, he's a good young running back. I think he can do some good things for us, but he ain't no damn Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke don't put his time in with this team, so quit disrespecting the man. But I think he'll be a good third running back, and that's what we've been missing on this team. Just as much we've been missing a kick returner and punt returner on this team, and we finally got one, and we finally got another big boy in the middle on defense on this team. So be happy, Cowboy fans. Quit bringing up drama. We don't need it. This is a team effort, team sport. But at the same time, far as if you take a step back, far as the offense, they do need to evaluate this wide receiver room a little bit better than what they're doing. To either to elevate it, to give CD Lamb a little bit more help, and maybe put some experience in the room. I like Judy. I like him, but if we gotta mortgage the future for him, I don't think it'll be
No. We don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that.
No. I don't want to mortgage the future.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. But players with experience that's been around for a minute.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks.
Like an Odell, like an Odell Beckham.
Odell Beckham, man.
I wouldn't mind Odell being on this team because I feel like Odell will bring an attitude to this wide receiver room that we haven't had in a minute. You know what I mean? You need somebody to push a person like CeeDee Lamb. You know what I mean? The challenge him. That's gonna be on the field out there with him. That might see something that he's not seeing. You know what I mean? To that big brother type of thing, like Amari Cooper was to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody that he can respect, and I know he will respect Odell because Odell been in the league for a minute. He know what it is to be a top wide receiver, and I feel like that's somebody that he can learn from. That'll work out for Stephen Jones as far as his pocketbook, and come in here and be a person that's been to a Super Bowl, and won one. Even though he got hurt in the Super Bowl, but he know the journey, what it took to get there, and I think that will help out our wide receiver room a little bit more. And it might help out even some of the younger wide receivers on this team. You know, that's just how I look at it.
So just Odell, but nobody else? Are you just saying Odell? Are you just saying Odell in general, or nobody? Or are you thinking about any other players?
I like Cooks too.
I think Brandon Cooks would be the better fit actually than Odell.
Yeah, I like Cooks too because I like Cooks too because he's been to a couple Super Bowls, so he know what it takes to get there. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see more out of the Cowboys. We need mercenaries. You know what I mean? To push all the chips to the table. My thing is like this. Jerry Jones is not getting any younger, and I hope that they understanding that in Dallas. Like, yo, bro, this might be the right time to push the chips in, push all the chips to the table, and let's go for it. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of people have been saying out here, the NFC is looking a little weak. This might be our time to pounce on everything because we have a defense that could we got a traveling defense that we could take anywhere in the league and make it a good game. We got a traveling special teams that's good enough to take anywhere. You know, we have to understand something. It's a reason why Turpin is popping off our TV screens, bro. He's going to break one. He's going to break a couple this year. He's going to score a couple touchdowns. He's going to do that. So why not get the offense tooled all the way up and let's just go for this shit? That's what I want to do.
Push tips.
But hey,
all right, man.
That's all I got to say, Sky. I'm gonna holler at y'all, Cowboy Nation. Let's be positive. Let's go for this 6, man. Peace.
The irony of Reek saying let's be positive. Shout out to my guy Reek. Reek called in Monday after the Cowboys won. Man, I'm just saying we need to run the ball more. Reek, we did run the ball. Yeah, but we got to play the defense. Reek, we did play the defense. God love Reek. Mr. My thing is, what he was saying though about the veterans in the receiver room. We talked about that in the offseason. Thought it was a big ask for CeeDee Lamb, who was clearly still leaning on Amari Cooper, clearly as the big homie, the big brother, to show him the ropes it's like now he gone. Like, oh wait, I'm still figuring out how to be a leader. You can hear Lamb trying to talk himself into it, but third year, I don't know that he's ready for that yet. So now he just has to lead on the field, right? And he has some productive games, has some production, but there's times where you see CeeDee Lamb, you see the body language, you see, and don't before you start saying body language because y'all don't like Amari's body language. I think that's two totally different things. But yeah, I've always been a proponent of bringing in a veteran guy, the Landrys of the world or Cooks or something like that. But that wasn't going to happen in the offseason because they signed Gallup, they brought in Washington and Lamb, and then they drafted Tober. So that's what you had to work with. But now you got a chance maybe to get a Cooks, or Judy's not a veteran. But damn, I sure would like to see what he look like. Shout out to L with the donation. He said, Reek with the phrase, that pays, my thing is. Reek said, my thing is, I don't like LV either. We know. A50. Send us out.
How you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Okay. I'm great. I just got back from America's Circuit in Austin, Texas. Had a good time over there transporting people all over Austin, Texas.
I haven't been to Austin yet.
And represent my Dallas. It's beautiful, and I was representing my Dallas Cowboys the whole time I was there. And so if you look at my videos, you'll see me. One of my videos, it was one people had this beautiful big white camper with a Dallas Cowboys stuff all over it. It was gorgeous. But my subject right now, what I want to talk about is that why Stephen Jones won't get us a number one better receiver. And I do agree with the last caller that we need some older wide receiver like Odell Beckham to come in here to teach these young boys how to represent the Dallas Cowboys and what it represents, because Michael Irvin and Drew Pearson were great legends, and they were go-getters, and they were hard workers off the field and on the field, and they would get in other people's faces and let them know that if when you playing this game, you got to put your best in at all times. You practice hard, you play hard, and have a good time. But if you want to be the best, you got to encourage them to step it up, because these wide receivers are not stepping it up. And then one more thing I like, that we running the football more, but why Kellen Moore keep running up the middle between the A gap and the B gap too much?
Man, football, you're going to run in the A gaps and B gaps. I think it comes down to how creative you can get with it. You got to get some movement going, maybe some pulls, some traps, things like that. Again, we showed earlier. Let me see if I can pull it up. Tony Pollard has been successful between the tackles, so he's had some success. Zeke has had some success. We just got to continue to do it in a more creative way. And I think we have. To be fair, I don't think we're running it up the A and B gaps like we did at the end of last season.
Right, I agree in that. Tony Pollard has been playing great. I would like for Kellen Moore to utilize his weapons better than what he do. Because, like, for example, when it's second down and short, like first down and short, or second and short, sometimes he called plays that don't make any sense whatsoever, and it puts us behind the sticks. And so I think Mike McCarthy need to get on him to let him know that he's hurting our team. Don't you agree?
I'll go in a different direction, but kind of on the same page. I'm not so much worried about the first and second down calls. I'm worried about the first 15. I don't think we've had a great first 15 out the gate in a minute, man. Maybe since the Cincinnati game. That we need to get that first 15 cleaned up. I see too many teams come out and they are creative, or they're kind of moving and grooving against. Hell, look at the Lions, low key, they moved the ball that first possession till I think we got a sack or something. I can't remember, but we don't really have. It doesn't seem like a quality game plan coming out the gate. It kind of seems like we're all over the place. The other two games, it was first down run, we got 5 yards, and the second down it was spread them out empty. Like where's the game
Yeah, I
plan
agree
in
with
that? There's nothing that we're building off. But when you go and watch that Cincy game, there was a clear, concise plan that they were going to build off in those first two possessions, and it worked. And I'm not saying it's always going to work, but I'd rather you have a plan. Maybe that is their plan to go empty, but I'd rather you have a more creative plan than what we have been seeing over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
I agree. I just want to wish you a happy birthday. Was it yesterday?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
A happy birthday to you, Scott Walker.
Appreciate it, man.
Blessing to you, young man.
Thank you.
And I just want to tell you that I appreciate all the great content and all the great work you put out and everything on your channel. You're the best, bro.
Man.
And I support you and Big Game James. Scott Walker still the OC and Scott the landlord and some of the other ones. I support a lot of y'all and I support y'all. Y'all great.
Thank you.
I just want to tell y'all I need a little help on my channel too, but I just want to tell you I appreciate you.
What's
you
your
have a blessed day, brother.
What's your channel?
It's Dallas Sports 1977.
Oh, this is my guy, Dallas Sports 1977. Make sure y'all check him out, man.
Okay, God bless, brother.
Thank you. We got a deep community. We got a very, 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 very deep community here with the Cowboys. I'm not going to pretend like I know what's going on around the rest of the communities in the NFL, but they ain't mess with us. Just keeping it being. All right, that'll do it for the phone calls today. Good stuff. Let me get up out of here. Good stuff today. A lot of talk about the running back situation because of Ezekiel Elliott. He may not play, but we previewed the Bears, man, and I still think you can get by. You can not just get by. I think you can dominate on the ground, man. I do. I think you got a Bears team that they came off of a victory, but did any of you guys see Roquan Smith? And maybe this is not a good thing, but a real life moment happened with Roquan Smith when he found out in the middle of his press conference that he was losing essentially a big brother type in Robert Quinn to a trade. He got emotional in the middle of his press conference, and I tweeted out, that is the real life side, the real moments side of football. Whereas in a Madden-driven world, in a fantasy-driven world, in a talking head, talking about football ad nauseum driven world, we kind of remove ourselves from the reality of it, that these dudes are real people. And they didn't break down, but you saw the emotion, like, we did what? And he kind of couldn't finish his press conference. So the Bears aren't reeling, but they lost a guy in that locker room. Again, for as many that say, again, he sucks, he's washed, one sack, whatever. Still a 3-4 team that just came off of a victory where they held opponents to 14 points, and he played a good game in that game. If you watch the film, he was maybe not big in the sack department, but to lose that guy in that locker room, who everything I've heard about Robert Quinn in the locker room is extremely high praise when he was here in Dallas, it affected Roquan Smith. So I don't know if it'll affect him in a good way or a bad way on Sunday, but we saw what happened last year when Jalen Smith got traded and LVE was pissed. He came out and played his best game of the year. Any chance Dan Quinn sticks around at DC forever like Jim Johnson? No. I would love to have our own Jim Johnson, Dick LeBeau. Love it. But Dan Quinn clearly wanted to be a head coach last year and got the rug pulled up underneath him from Denver. Roquan's an orphan now. Yeah, man, Twitter ate him up. Twitter which was weird, but people was like, man, he wished it was him and things like that. It's like, it's the internet. Y'all wild. Yeah, Quinn's not nearly as old as Jim Johnson, but Jim Johnson was the DC over there for how long? I mean, forever, man. He's, I hate Philly, but he's one of those coaches where I was like, at that point in time, like, man, I wish we had a guy like him. And year in, year out, he was famously known for those double A gap blitzes and sugaring it and sending Brian Dawkins down and Hugh Douglas and those boys and Trent Cole. I mean, he has some defenses, boy, in those early 2000s. for the Eagles, and he called up great games, man. Passed it to Sean McDermott, who kind of was pretty decent and then went to Buffalo, and now look at Buffalo. They're doing great things over there. But, yeah, shout out to Jimmy Johnson, rest in peace. Quality coach. Dick LeBeau, another guy I like, old school guy. I'm hoping and praying that Dan Quinn could be there for us, but Dan Quinn like 52. He wants to coach. He wants to be a head coach, man. Got a couple more super chats, so we're going to get up out of here. Let me see. JoJo, appreciate you. He says, is that what did you just say, JoJo?
Super chat.
JoJo, I'm going to need you to come back up in here. What are you talking about? He says, why are we not playing Terrence Williams? We need a wide receiver. I mean, if you want to pass the L, I'll join you. Why are we not playing Terrence Williams? Explain yourself, sir. Super chats don't have the sarcasm emoji, if that is sarcasm. Just play Bryce Butler. Probably JoJo. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson had those exotic blitzes, the guru. Yup, 100%. All right, do me a favor. Is JoJo in here? Gotta explain yourself, sir. Brad C said, hey, this man went on a walk. I don't know, Brian. Is he joking? I think JoJo joking. Like, he been in here before. He know how we get out. You are joking, right? Look, do me a favor, though, before y'all get up out of here. Yeah, CJ, if you want to pass it. I mean. Hit the like button if you enjoyed today's show, our breakdown. Cowboys offense against the Bears defense. Tomorrow, man, this week went by kind of fast. Tomorrow we'll come back on. We'll either talk keys of the game or X factors. We'll have a better update around the injury situation. Noah Brown, Terrence Steele, the big one, Ezekiel Elliott, and we'll break down more of that. If you want to be a part of all that, want to know when we go live, I go live every day, Monday through Friday, 8:30-ish. Hit that subscribe button and hit the bell. That'll let you know. And then later tonight, the final episode of A to Z Sports Prime Time with our guy Mauricio Rodriguez. Make sure y'all check him out. And I'm back, baby. Back. Here's JoJo. We need to play him. JoJo. I think Terrence is a solid receiver. JoJo, what are we doing? I'm back. Voch Lombardi Live. Come holla at us. Always a good time over there. We'll talk more Cowboys, Bears. I'm not sure if he talked about the trade yesterday. Maybe we'll talk some more about that as well. You can't miss a show. About 3:06. We'll be live over there on the volume, so holla at us. With that said, let me hit this button, man, before JoJo gets me real concerned. You okay, bro? You gotta be messing with us, man. There was a point in time I actually liked Terrence Williams, though. Like, body catcher extraordinaire for sure, but he was clutch, man. He was clutch. We out of here, though. Love y'all. Peace. Oh, Special K. He would not go out of bounds. Come on, T. Will. Shout out to the mod guys. Appreciate y'all.
Bomb Squad!